Hello, and welcome back to Flyer Sports. I'm Joe Sullivan.
I'm Sean Vitalis.
Today we'll go over the Flyers' run to the A10 championship final, where they fell just short of conference gold as they lost to VCU in a hard-fought final.
Dayton went into the tournament as the number 2 seed behind VCU. Their first matchup was against the 10th seeded St. Joe's Hawks. The Flyers took them down in their previous matchup, 76-56. The Flyers held the lead for the entire second half and finished with a double-digit blowout win.
St. Joe's got off to a hot start from outside as Eric Reynolds hits from three. Former Flyer Lynn Greer knocks down the next one for the Hawks. And for the Dayton Flyers, obviously playing without Kobe Elvis this tournament, had some guys have to step up, including Brady Ewell, who stepped up big.
Yeah, Brady Ewell knocked down a nice three, and Kamara led us in points and rebounds. He knocks down this one, went 3 or 4 from 3. And Brady Ewell driving now finds him again. With this three, the Flyers capped off a 14-0 run that had the Flyers leading 25-16. St. Joe's would respond as they hit this buzzer beater three to pull within 4 at the end of the half.
Second half now as Kamara finds Holmes down low for the jam. Holmes drops 17 and 9 for the Flyers. And for St. Joe's, Eric Reynolds responded for the Hawks as they dug out their 11-point deficit here with this three.
Kamara's going to step into another three for the Flyers. He had 17 points, 18 rebounds, went 5-11 from the field. Reynolds, however, was just relentless for St. Joe's as he knocked down a pair of clutch shots down the stretch.
Yeah, he led with 19 points, including 5 threes, was really big for that St. Joe's team. You know, staying in this game, coming down late, Flyers just couldn't pull away, but with less than 2 minutes to go, the Hawks closed the gap as to just 14 points. And this Duran dunk puts the Flyers back up 6 as Holm makes another play as he creates this shot for Kobe Ray with a big three right there.
St. Joe's is going to keep fighting down to the final seconds as Reynolds hits another three. Mustafa Amzil would end up at the line for the Flyers and connect both ends of the 1-and-1 to ice the game for Dayton.
St. Joe's would fire off another last-second attempt right here with 2 seconds left, but however, it would not be enough as the Flyers held on to win 60-54.
Flyers would move on to face Fordham in the semifinal of the A10 tournament. Dayton dominated their only regular season matchup against the Rams, winning 82-58. Things would be a little tougher this time as the third-seeded Fordham came to play.
Flyers start off strong as Toumani Kamara grabs his own rebound right here and gets the tough and one finish. And coming down to the end of the season, I mean, Kamara was huge for the Dayton Flyers, putting up double-doubles, all throughout the end of the year.
Yeah, Kamara, besides Duran Holmes, definitely the player to highlight on this team, but Khalid Moore for the Rams dropped 24 and 7 as he knocks down that three.
And Kamara makes another great play as he beats the clock with this tough fadeaway off the glass. And he couldn't miss all night. And for Dayton, Mike Sharaf-Jomps pushes the pace here as he finds Duran Holmes for the and one finish for Dayton.
Moore's going to respond with another three for Fordham, though. He went 3 for 6 on the night from outside. To start the second half, we got Malachi Smith finding Kamara with the alley-oop. What a finish.
You see Kamara, a great play right there, and a nice find in a back-and-forth game as Flyers opened up a 6-point lead for the second half, but Will Richardson cuts it back down to 3 with this long bucket from the outside.
Yeah, Joe, both teams shooting really well. The Flyers shot 30% from 3 and 60% overall. Rams going 32 from 3 and 44% overall. Flyers getting to the line, though. They took 18 free throws compared to the Rams just taking 12 from the line.
And Mustafa Amzil right there with a huge three to, stay up in this game as Duran Holmes right here.
Yeah, Duran puts Rostislav Novitsky on a poster. Holmes had a complete game as he finished with 20 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and 3 blocks for the Flyers.
Will Richardson banks in a 3 as Fordham makes it a 1-point game yet again. The Flyers would go on a 15-4 run in the last 5 minutes of the game, and one stop there as another 3 from Fordham. And, they had the home fans, and you saw, throughout this game they played a role, but Dayton pulls away with the big win.
Yeah, as we see Kobe Brea getting a steal, he'll pass it to Kamara and a nasty windmill to end it off. Some might say that's disrespectful. Some say it's A10 tournament time, and the Flyers are going to get a win. The Flyers would advance to the A10 championship, where they would take on top-seeded VCU Rams. The Flyers split games with the Rams in the regular season, with both road teams winning.
Nick Kern got the Rams off to a solid start by connecting from the outside right here. Going up 3-3 here, tied early in this one, but Malachi Smith responding for Dayton with a 3 of his own. We saw throughout the year, especially compared to last year, Malachi Smith was huge and really advanced his scoring coming in this year.
Yeah, VCU outfought the Flyers in this one, but Dayton won the rebounding battle, 16 offensive rebounds, and Mustafa Amzi also had 17 points for the Flyers. VCU, though, going to respond with a quick bucket to retake the lead, and Jameer Watkins drains a 3 as VCU keeps up the great shooting night.
And Ace Baldwin kind of struggled early on in this one. A10 player of the year, but picked up things, and I see Nunn right there. I mean, was really big. Kicks it out for another 3.
Yeah, Deron Holmes had 28, 16, and 5 blocks, and what could have been his final game in a Flyer uniform. What a way to go out for him.
I see that dunk right there, and he was fantastic. Again, player of the tournament here. And, you see that offense. Mike Sherriff-Johns kicks it to Blakeney. Blakeney dunks it, and the Flyers going up big here, going into halftime, and they would hold an 11-point lead to start the second half. But Nick Kern throws down a nasty dunk off the lob from Jaden Nunn right there. And Brandon Johns Jr., the transfer from Michigan, hits another 3 for the Rams.
Flyers shot pretty poorly in this game, just 13% from 3 and 32% from the field. And the Rams were hot, 46 from the field, 47% from 3. They also had 17 points off the bench. The Flyers with just 2.
And again, VCU keeping it close as Ace Baldwin played fantastic for VCU. And you see Deron Holmes, 2 seconds on the shot clock, nails that one to go up by 1 here in the second half.
Jalen DeLoach going to finish down low as the Rams start to pull away. Ace Baldwin finds Jameer Watkins for the 3, and they're going to increase their lead to 7.
The A10 player of the year had 16 points for VCU and 7 assists to lead his Rams to the championship. And Brandon Johns right here in the post on Mustafa Amzil puts the game away with a tough bucket on the inside.
Yeah, Flyers just not able to get it done in the final seconds. They're going to fire off another one, rolls right out of the rim. VCU Rams able to recover, and that's ball game.
And a frustrating loss for the Dayton Flyers in the A10 championship, taking on the 1 seed VCU, and really all season. I mean, VCU was the favorite going into the tournament. But when you talk about preseason expectations, the Dayton Flyers obviously top 25 in the AP poll preseason, and Coach Grant's squad just fell short.
Yeah, second time ever that the Flyers were ranked inside the top 25 in the preseason poll. This looked like one of the best teams in this millennium. Besides that number 1 seeded Flyer team of 2020 that didn't get a finish out that legacy year, this looked like a team that was able to compete. ESPN had them going Elite 8, Sweet 16 for sure. In pretty much every poll, Deron Holmes was ranked as probably the 14th or 15th draft pick in this upcoming draft before the season. Some of the talk was that they would go undefeated in A10 play. That was definitely thrown around, and battled injuries, some illnesses, some personal team issues, some stuff like that just all year. And it really wasn't until right before the A10 tournament that the whole team was healthy.
And had a big chance early on in the year in the battle for Atlantis out of the Bahamas, where they played some really good teams and went 0-3 in that tournament. And it kind of got a glimpse of what the Dayton Flyers, where they were at that point. Obviously had some injuries throughout the season, but overall it just couldn't get things together and just struggled to come together as a group.
Yeah, Joe. In that one, like you said, went 0-3, had a lot of injuries, and that's when the depth chart issues really started to come in. We thought that this was a 8, 9, maybe even 10-man rotation, and after that battle for Atlantis, it was more like 5 or 6, regular players, and maybe some guys coming off the bench just to fill some minutes. But going into the year, we thought this might be one of the deepest teams in America.
Yeah, and for the Dayton Flyers, having everybody back from that 2022 season, and just it's a tough way to go out. And you got to help but to think what's going to happen with this squad. Again, having everybody come back from the prior season, one of the youngest teams in the country, and again the 65th team that just missed that tournament, and this year just failed in the A10 championship. You got to think, but for Coach Grant, I mean, coming down to the wire, for the Dayton Flyers team, he may be in the hot seat.
Yeah, Coach Grant definitely probably not feeling as good as he was a year or two ago. But like you said, everybody came back from the 2021 season. The youngest team in America this year, much more experienced. Also, the biggest team in America, ranked number one in the NCAA in height. But we talk about Grant possibly leaving, and then Deron Holmes. Was that his final game? Are we going to see him back in a Flyer uniform? A lot of mock drafts are going to tell you probably not. But obviously, yet to hear what's going to happen with his case.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see as far as, whether players will stay or hit the transfer portal. But that's going to do it for this episode here on Flyer Sports. I'm Joe Sullivan with Sean Vitales.